Is virtual reality about to completely change how human beings communicate? Huge story in the New York Times earlier this week about virtual reality. Apparently, the technology has finally advanced to the point where we really are reaching a product and a service that average consumers can relate to. And movie makers, game producers are spending billions. According to some analysts, within the next few years, this could be a $70 billion business, virtual reality. The question that intrigues me, and I think a lot of you, is this going to fundamentally change how human beings communicate? Every so often, something does completely change how humans communicate. Gutenberg's printing press changed things. Television changed things. The rise of consumer video, and the fact that everyone has a cell phone video camera, changes things. The advent of PowerPoint technology some 30 years ago changed an awful lot, some say for the worse, when it comes to corporate communications. And I hate this phrase, but is this a game changer? The rise of virtual reality. I have to confess, I don't really know. I'd love to hear from some of you. For those of you who are involved with larger corporations with bigger budgets, how do you plan on using virtual reality to help your customer? You could certainly imagine a situation where large insurance companies, multi-billion-dollar insurance companies, could have a virtual reality game to help people sort of go through their home and weatherize and fireproof and safety-proof their home in a way that would be much more engaging than just text on a screen or even a simple how-to video. There's obviously numerous applications. The question I have always with technology, though, is how easy is it going to be? Is the cost and the time going to prevent most people from communicating that way most of the time? Now, when I started in this business 30 years ago, video cameras had been around for, at that point, 40, 50 years. But they were so expensive and hard to use, most people, most businesses, certainly most small businesses, never had an opportunity, consultants, authors, they never had an opportunity to use video cameras for the most part 30 years ago. It's only been now that cameras are so cheap everywhere. We all have dozens of cameras in our house typically when you add up every cell phone, iPad, laptop. What's going to happen with virtual reality? Now, I don't want to seem like a Luddite. I'm all in favor of new technology. I love technology. But here's my fear. In major corporations, major businesses, governments, people become so entranced with the possibility of new technology that they fixate on that and they stop doing the basic fundamentals of communicating, which is having a speech, having a few good ideas, having stories, examples, and presenting in a way that's interesting, lively, engaging, and conversational. The more technology exists in the world, the more that increases, the more opportunities there are for people just to speak. I'm using technology right now, but deep down, I'm just talking. I'm trying to talk in a way that's conversational. That's interesting. You might like it. You might hit delete or stop or go onto a cat video now. But I am reaching some of you, and in any month, I reach tens of thousands of people this way in a way that I certainly couldn't have 20 years ago or 30 or 40 years ago. So my real advice to you, certainly learn about virtual reality. It's interesting, experience. If you get a chance to put a headset on, I know I will, but don't lose sight of the fundamentals of human communication. It's speaking. No matter how much of an increase there is in technology, there's only going to be more demand and more opportunities to speak to people, and you're either going to be interesting or not. You're either going to be memorable or not. So please don't lose sight of the fundamentals. In today's body language tip, here's one, you may have seen this from time to time. People on stage, on TV, on videos, being interviewed on 60 Minutes, and it's someone doing this. Steepling, if it's like this, there's some word people use like this. Don't do it. It looks ridiculous. I defy you to go to any restaurant or bar in the world, look at two people or a group of people having a lively, fun conversation, and tell me how many people are doing this or this. It doesn't exist. This is something you do when you're self-conscious and you think, I want to look thoughtful, and I want to look intelligent, and I want to look important. That makes you look like an idiot, like an imbecile. So please, that's the tip of the day. Don't do this with your hands. You want to know what to do with your hands? Move them. When you're speaking, move them. If you're not speaking, they can just sit on a table, sit on your lap, down by your sides. It doesn't really matter. The key thing is move your hands when you speak. You'll come across more comfortable, confident, and relaxed. In other media news, Condé Nast, the huge, prestigious, successful magazine publisher, has announced that Details magazine, the magazine for men a lot younger than I am, on fashion, pop culture, is going out of business. Now, this is a magazine with more than 500,000 subscribers, and it's going out, or they're shutting it down. What does this really mean? At some point, it tells me the editors, the writers, the publishers of Details didn't adapt. Ask yourself this: if you're on a plane, on a train, a subway, what do you see more of? Do you see people holding big pieces of paper, or do you see them doing this? Of course, you see people on phones, and that's why the whole concept of a magazine, I think, is a little bit dated, unless it's a magazine that is an art magazine, a magazine about how to decorate coffee table, the old classic Kramer Seinfeld book, a coffee table book about coffee tables. Yeah, that can make sense. But virtually everything else comes alive, is easier to digest, easier to consume in a digital format. And if you don't have the eyeballs and the advertisers, nobody cares about your subscribers, because these days, I'm somehow still on certain magazine list. I think some entertainment publication sends me a magazine here. I count as a subscriber for them. Never opened it. It goes right in the trash, or it's used as kindling for a fire. So the big lesson here is you've got to focus on your readers, viewers, listeners now where they are. The old metrics of things like subscribers doesn't really matter. You've got to keep cost low, as low as possible, and figure out revenue streams that dramatically exceed your cost. That's really the only lesson I think that is currently applicable to people in the media world, whether you're just starting a media business or whether you've been in it for 80 years or longer. Okay, now let's take a moment out for questions and comments from readers in some of my online courses. William is in one of my online public speaking courses. He writes and says, "Teacher, I'd like to post a video of myself. I'm not sure how to do it. What's the best way of posting a video?" Now, I have a number of online platforms that I'm on. I sell my courses at MediaTrainWorldwide.com, Curious.com, Udemy, a number of others. Most don't allow a place to upload a video. What I suggest for most people, if you want to get feedback from individuals, whether it's friends, family, folks on Facebook, or fellow online students or instructors, just go to YouTube, create a free account, upload the video of yourself speaking, and then take that URL, the web address, because every video on YouTube has its own address, and post that. You can post a URL virtually any place. Then anyone who sees it can click it and watch it. And that's easier than trying to email a video or upload it to a forum that doesn't take that. Now, if you don't want the whole world to see it, you can put it on unlisted, and as a practical matter, No one on YouTube is likely to find it. Don't put anything that's going to destroy your career. But if it's just you doing a practice speech, just put it as unlisted, and then if someone does see the link in my online course or other places, they'll be able to watch it and give you feedback. So that's my advice. Today's spotlight goes on my course for how to be a news anchor and talk show host. Most of my clients who come to me are executives, political figures who want to be interviewed, but I do also train news anchors, reporters, talk show hosts, and I have an online course just for that. If you'd like to get a preview of that course, go to MediaTrainingWorldwide.com and click on the online courses, and you can see the courses that are relevant to talk show hosts, anchors, and TV news reporters, and start learning right away at the convenience of your own home, office, or on the road. Next week is a big holiday week, Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of the United States, where it's our holiday. Thanksgiving can vary different times of the year, different days, different parts of the world for those who celebrate it. I will be off in Europe and in the Middle East conducting media training sessions. But I know a lot of you are celebrating Thanksgiving. And here's the thing about Thanksgiving. It's an opportunity to have a toast, to say what you're thankful for in front of your whole family, friends, relatives. A lot of people get nervous about this because a toast is a type of presentation. I want to give you a couple of tips. Don't memorize something. Don't worry about impressing your family with erudite quotes. Just hold your glass and say what you're thankful for, and give a toast to your family. Speak from the heart. Don't memorize. Just share with people. Look at them. If you want to thank someone in particular, if you're thankful about what your mother's done in the last year or your son, look right at them and thank them. Do that, and it will be a genuine toast that's well received and remembered by the people you care about most. So happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm TJ Walker. May all your speaking opportunities in life be a huge success. I'll see you after the holidays.